Welcome to Behind the Curtain, Nashville's movers, shakers,
and tastemakers.
Brought to you by Cord Real Estate, your key to the heart of Nashville. I'm Steve Luther alongside my co-host Van Hoy.
Here we peel back the layers of Nashville's vibrant scene, sitting down with the innovators, creators, and leaders who shape our city. From music to business and everything in between, we dive into the journeys that have brought them to where they are today.
We're here to uncover the stories behind the success, the passion driving their pursuits, and why they've chosen Nashville as their stage. It's about the people who dream big, push boundaries, and make this city truly unique.
So join us as we explore the heart and soul of Nashville through the eyes of those who know it best.
Today we're joined by Ana Reisdorf, MSRD, a registered dietitian, content strategist, and the founder of GLP-1 Hub, a fast-growing online platform dedicated to bringing science-backed clarity to one of the most talked about topics in modern health, GLP-1 medications.
Ooh, look out.
With a master's in clinical nutrition and years of hands-on experience in both clinical practice and health communications, Ana has become a leading voice in evidence-based wellness education. Through GLP-1 Hub, she helps people cut through the misinformation by connecting them to credible insights, trusted resources, and expert-written content. Beyond her work at GLP-1 Hub, she also leads RWS Health Content Plus Strategy, a marketing agency powered entirely by registered dietitians that partner with brands like Nature Made, Garden of Life, and Walgreens to elevate health messaging across digital platforms. Ana, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
A second time.
Second time.
We're not supposed to tell people
Oh, what am I not supposed to tell?
that we did this once before.
Nobody would know.
That's right. That's why you don't tell people.
We let it out. Yeah, so
we solved all the world's health.
We did. We had
and
one of the best conversations we've ever had.
Unfortunately, we're not going to have time to do that today. So,
we're just going to hit the high points. But
the mystery will remain.
I'm just excited you were willing to come back.
Yes.
I'm
happy to.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
See, what people don't know is that we've already had this conversation and somehow it didn't record it.
But we're going to act surprised.
We're going to act surprised. We're going to we have never had this conversation. And actually, that won't be so hard for me. He is the great brain. He remembers all things.
Mm-hmm.
Me, every moment is like a brand new moment, even if I just lived it. So,
I think that's how you're supposed to live in the present.
I don't know, but it's how I live. So yeah.
Well, tell us how you got started. Where'd you grow up? What was the school?
Oh, and by the way, I'm going to talk more this time.
Yeah, you should talk more.
I'm going to talk more this time because
you are more of an expert on this.
Our last episode that I saw that was being promoted online, the editors edited me out of everything. Zoomed in on Steve for every promo. And even did all of the extra stuff, all the stuff, and they literally just pulled it on the very edge of his cheek and just zoomed in for the whole thing. And I thought, did he have me cut out just to mess with me?
100%.
And then it hit me. I didn't talk enough in that episode. So you know what? I'm not going to shut up because,
This is probably the only time that has ever happened. Like generally, I end up as the back of head model in everything that is shot.
It's unfortunate.
My face has not been in anything.
He does get at the back of his head in a lot of things, but somehow. But yeah, I was cracking up because it got served to me on my phone, and I was like, "Whoa!" It's zoomed in, and it never left you. It just kept getting close, tighter and tighter, and I thought,
As it should.
I didn't talk enough.
It's a message.
Look out!
Yeah,
here I am.
Here you are.
Let's talk the shot.
All right, how'd you get started?
Sure. So I've been a registered dietitian for 20 years, done a lot of different things in my career, taught at the university, worked in a hospital, did a lot of stuff. About 10 years ago, I started writing kind of as a side gig. And about maybe 5 years ago, Google started really wanting content written by experts. So you'll see if you Google anything about health or nutrition, you'll see that like the big websites are up there, Harvard and Medline and, people like validated content. So I saw a big opportunity to get into the content marketing space and create content for brands. And so that business really blew up at that time. And I was able to have 10 dietitians working for me, writing content, doing recipes, all sorts of stuff for these brands. But about 2 years ago, that demand really started kind of declining. I think it was changes in SEO, and that things that were ranking started to become different. And then a little robot showed up named ChatGPT.
Right.
And, even now with Google, you search and your answer is right at the top for a lot of things from, the AI answer. And so the demand for the writing has really declined over the last couple of years. And I was looking for a new direction. And I was like, I don't know, like I really need something new to do, because I had to slowly kind of pair off my team. And I was like, something needs to change, because I am an entrepreneur at heart. I will never have a job because I'm not a good employee. And
well, from what I've heard, you were a great employee. At least what's written in my letter here.
No, not really. I like to do things my own way and dance to the beat of my own drum. So
I think that's how we all got started.
Yeah, I just can't. Don't want to show up on time. Just want to do my own thing.
Oh, are we talking about being on time?
So I at the time was a GLP-1 user, and I had made a lot of mistakes along my GLP-1 journey.
Tell us about that. What kind of mistakes?
I, thought I could lose the weight, get off the medication.
So
no
you
problem.
were a user and a pusher.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I'm a pusher, but yes,
because you're a dietitian, right? So
I would say most dietitians haven't quite gotten on board with the GLP-1.
I don't know if you recall this from our previous conversation. That didn't actually happen officially because it's not on the internet. But my wife is a dietitian, a registered dietitian.
Oh, really?
Yes, she is. And for years has worked for the company that developed that. And even got me on it.
So you're a user too?
She was the pusher and I was the user.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, I lost over 100 pounds.
Wow.
Yes, I was in the first year where they made it legal for non-diabetics. So I've been very thankful.
And how long has it been?
5 years.
Wow.
A little over 5 years.
Amazing.
2020, I think. 2021. I can't remember now.
So anyway. You may have made some similar mistakes or had, ideas.
Well, I always said I had an unfair advantage because people said, well, how did you have such success with it without so many side effects? And I said, well, I'm married to I always would say something a little more off color, but
sure.
But yeah, so I had an unfair advantage because, she had access and she would be able to get the answers to my questions immediately.
Right.
Which it turns out anybody who's using the branded product has access to their dietitians and has access to their scientists through the right channels. You can get there and you can get all the things that I read online and all my friends who are sending me private messages warning me, and I was like, no, it doesn't come from Lizard Spit. That's a different brand.
That's a common one.
And there, there's all these things. I mean, and by the way, I did use the Lizard Spit one, the Bieta back 20 years ago, whatever it was, and it didn't do anything like that for me. But what can I say? Anyway, I interrupted you.
That's all right. Yeah. So I thought, if I'm making mistakes on this GLP-1 medication, and I'm a dietitian and I have some general understanding. I mean, I hadn't worked as a clinician for a while, but I know about good nutrition. It's like, what are the people doing, right? That have no idea.
What kind of mistakes are you referring to? Like people, if not yourself?
I mean, I thought it was going to be like previous weight loss medications that I had tried in the past, like phentermine. You take it for a while, it starts to wear off, you keep the weight off, or you try to maintain those lifestyle habits. Thought it was like a temporary thing.
Yeah, no.
Right. And then, or things like not really focusing as much on the protein and the strength training as I needed to. I felt like at some points my hair was kind of falling out because maybe I wasn't eating enough. And to have I kind of forgot, because of the way this medication made me feel, finally in control of my eating.
Which is the exact...
I kind of forgot that I maybe needed food.
Right.
So I'd be like rolling on an iced coffee all day. And
Oprah calls it the food noise.
Right.
It quiets the food noise.
But regardless of the food noise being quiet, and regardless of your appetite decreasing, your body still needs food.
Correct.
It's not a signal that you should just not eat anymore.
Boy, I learned that one. But Wow, did I learn that one?
And
yeah,
I obviously know, like I have a degree in nutrition.
Yes.
I know the importance of nutrition, but I feel like the medication gave me this power that I had never really had.
correct. That's a
And-
great way to put it.
Right. So I thought, oh my, if like I'm doing this,
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what the other people are doing. And then I went online to see what people were saying and what they were doing,
Right.
and it was a lot worse than I
Much.
thought.
Mhm.
So
and overdosing and taking too much and pairing it with other things.
Well, there's a lot of information about side effects, things like that.
Oh,
What they
so
call it,
much.
Ozempic droop or whatever.
You've
where,
got
like,
Ozempic face.
Face,
There's
yeah,
all
yeah.
kinds of stuff.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Which, whenever you do rapid weight loss, you're going to get some sagging and things.
Sure.
Especially if you're not doing the muscles
Correct.
and whatnot.
Right. So one day in the shower, I had this idea: what if I became the hub for all things GLP-1?
Ooh, I like it.
And so I went to the GoDaddy, and the domain was available, and I was like, this is it. This is it. And so I started that. I asked my dad for a loan to start and build the website and do the thing. And it's blown up to a level that I could not anticipate, so much so that in December, I hired my husband as a full-time employee.
Wow.
And like the need for quality education about these medications is insane.
Ashley and Steve hired each other.
Did they?
Mhm. And then they let me tag along.
It is interesting how much faith people put into what the AI tells them.
Oh my goodness.
It's kind of crazy. I just discovered this morning. We'll
Uh-oh,
see
here it
if this
comes.
works live on air.
Oh, here it comes.
Oh goodness.
Ooh.
Let me pull up chat here. All right, I'm gonna do the voice chat thing.
What are you going to say?
How many R's are in the word strawberry?
In the word strawberry, there are 2 R's, one in the straw part and one in the berry part.
Really? So let me break that down. How many R's are in the word straw?
Sure thing. In the word straw by itself, there's just 1 R. So that's where the first R comes from.
And then what about the word berry? How many R's are in the word berry?
In the word berry, there's also 1 R. So when you put straw and berry together, that gives you the 2 I's in
You
strawberry.
know what we say in the South?
So
Bless her
weird.
heart. Bless her heart.
Poor Chad.
Are you trying to shame chat online or on camera?
I am not shaming chat. I'm just saying, people maybe need to seek alternate sources in addition to the AI. The AI is very helpful in a lot of ways.
Well, if you want to know how to spell a word, go to
Spelling
Merriam-Webster.
Barely is not one of them. We just got back from Antigua.
Yeah.
And we were playing Scrabble with some good friends of ours. And he starts throwing out these ridiculous words. And I'm like, come on, bro. That's not a word. And we go to chat, and chat's like, oh, yeah, that's absolutely a word.
You can't.
WOOO is absolutely an approved Scrabble word.
Well, we do. It might be a Nashville version of Scrabble because, we have the Woo Girls going up and down Music Row here.
That's true.
Well, we were in Antigua.
Well, it's a far reach. Is this any different than the last time we chatted?
So how do you determine what's real, what's not real? Like, how do you make sure your data is accurate?
Well, I try to, my podcast about GLP-1 medications is I interview experts, like people who are working with patients or researchers who are looking at these medications. And so that's where I try to get most of my, information from. And then validated sources like the studies in PubMed and like places that, I know are good sources to go to. But I mean, we all, I think, to some extent use ChatGPT to do our research. Like that's where I start. So I'll say, today I want to do a video on hair loss, and then chat will pull the studies, and then I'll click through and then read those studies.
So you don't go to Google anymore?
No.
Wow.
Because
I'm a dinosaur.
Chat can summarize all of it for me right there. And I can say, okay,
Yeah.
what about this point of view? What about that? And then, I obviously take the second step. I don't just spit that out, but I do use it for my research to go through to the other studies.
See, it was the shot then it was Bitcoin. Now it's AI, the big scandals of the time.
It's been AI for a while, but GLP-1 too.
Yeah.
I don't know that
The
I would call them
trifecta.
scandals.
Well,
But,
topics of discourse
Mhm.
where people have strong opinions.
Very strong opinions.
So do you find that it's mainly end users that are using your website, or do you see a lot of like providers and professionals, nurses, whatever, that are using it?
A lot of registered dietitians. I have a big network of dietitians from when I did the content marketing.
Mhm.
So a lot of dietitians listen to the podcast, but my audience is users of the medication.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because so many I've talked to, when they ask me questions, when they find out my wife works for the company that makes it all, the original, they're just amazed at the information I have,
Mm-hmm.
because they're like, I didn't know about this, I didn't know that. So that's so cool. There's a source that's readily available.
Yeah, and I just feel like the media has not done a very good job
No.
with it, because they want fear-mongering clickbait headlines,
Right.
so you'll see, stop poisoning yourself with lizard venom, or
Right.
you're going to go deaf if you use this medication, or blind, or
Grow another arm or something.
whatever. I mean, like a lot of things. So people are terrified. That's really something that I've been surprised about with my community, is how much fear. So I'll hear from people often, I've had this medication in my fridge for 3 weeks and I'm too scared to take it, which is the media.
Now, is there
unfortunate.
any truth to any of this stuff, depending on like where you're getting your drug from? Like,
absolutely.
Sure. There are people using non-legit sources of this medication because they are so desperate, and I can't, there could significantly be side effects from that. You don't know what it is. They're getting
until
it from
now,
other countries.
The prices were so high.
Yes.
Now the prices have come down.
They have, but still for some people it might be more than they,
Right.
Can afford. And then there are side effects that one should be cautious of. But, the majority are digestive issues. So constipation, nausea, vomiting, those types of things that can be managed with your diet. Heartburn.
Big one. If you eat like I used to.
Can be managed with your diet.
That's right.
Like making changes, not eating late, not eating spicy foods, things like that. So there's a lot that can be managed. And then these drama side effects are very often from people losing weight too quickly. And so the one about the person going deaf, if you lose like 100 pounds in 3 months, your ears will get discombobulated and you might lose your hearing, So there are things to be aware of and to be cautious about and to use it correctly. But a lot of it is misinformation or exaggeration.
If you're doing it in an appropriate manner, like how much weight should you really be expecting to lose, like on a weekly basis or a monthly basis?
Sure. So it's going to depend on your size and your age, like when you start. But we usually recommend about 0.5 pound to 2 pounds a week of consistent weight loss. So a man who's heavier might lose a little more rapidly at the beginning, but that's kind of where we want to be. My personal goal was about 2 pounds a month because I wanted to be sure to not lose a lot of muscle. I'm going into menopause. I didn't want to mess up my hormones. I was considering my whole health because that's the way I was looking at it, as a long-term strategy for my health, and not just to like wear some high school size that I had in my brain.
I hit plateaus. And so I would hit a plateau and there'd be a while and I would be discouraged. And then she'd be like, just don't stop, because your body's regulated. Your body's getting used to a new norm. And then it would eventually start to lose again.
So just playing devil's advocate.
Your favorite role.
If you're having to manage side effects, then if you can like manage what you're eating and exercising and all those things, do you need the GLP-1? Like what?
I think for many people with obesity, they have done all of that. They have done every person that's come on my podcast to share their story has said, I've been on Weight Watchers since I was 8, or I've done every diet, keto, carnivore, blah, blah. And I just couldn't stick with it for whatever reason, or it never really worked. Or a lot of people have had gastric bypass in the past and they still regain the weight for a variety of reasons. So yes, if you can do it on your own, absolutely. Remember, I had a patient who was coming to see me for gastric bypass when I first became a dietitian. And at first he started like gaining weight because he was doing all of his last meals while we were working together, like before he was going to have the bypass. And then at one day something clicked with him. He's like, what the heck am I doing? And he was able to change his mindset about that. And he lost 150 pounds on his own.
Wow.
You know, just something just clicked. He was just like, I can't let food continue to kill me. I'm going in for this surgery. Like, maybe I can do this, you know, and that's possible. And in a perfect world, I would love for that to be the case for everybody. But I don't think that that's feasible for a lot of people.
It's almost like this is a forced willpower. when you don't have the willpower.
It's a Jedi mind trick is what it is.
But it does more than stop you from wanting to eat. You know, it controls your blood sugar, it slows down your digestion, and it changes your brain chemistry. So you really just like don't have that obsessive thoughts about food all the time. So dietitian, like, I'd be writing about food all day and I'd be thinking about food all day, and like it controlled my whole life.
Reduces inflammation.
It's being used for brain health.
Major. There's a whole thing about Alzheimer's now. There's American Heart Association came out with the biggest thing since what, aspirin or something, you know, and I mean, it's unbelievable, some of the stuff.
Yeah. You've worked with some pretty big brands. I mean, obviously, you know, I think everybody would recognize Nature Made and Garden of Life. You know, a lot of supplements and stuff that those brands do, you know, you always get the, you know, this has not been tested or whatever by the FDA. You know, there's so much. I think people are so leery of what to believe anymore from anyone, including the FDA. Yeah. Like how does that play into these drugs? Like, is there some crossover there? What do you think about all this FDA stuff? And I'm not trying to get political or anything, but like the realities of it. How do you know what to believe and what not to believe?
Sure. I think it's hard. I don't really have an answer for how do you know what to believe, because even with like right now, the FDA is fighting anybody who makes compounded GLP-1, right? But is that coming from the FDA because they think it's unsafe, or is it coming from pharma trying to stop people from making a competitive product for a lower cost? I don't have the answer.
Pushing the FDA to do that. Yeah.
Right. So I think that, you know, what I try to do is kind of balance people's professional experience with their personal experience as clinicians. So they can see, so like my audience can get both points of view. So that's why I think it's important for me to share my personal story with it and what has happened, so I can have that balance. But I think it's hard with supplements. Like every day there's something new, especially in this GLP-1 space. Everybody's just slapping the word GLP-1 on something.
Right.
And people don't know, like, is it good? Is it not? Does it really boost GLP-1? Does it really help me this and that? And
like, I probably shouldn't just have said American Heart Association, because I'm not quoting any specific study. Or I retract what I said, you know, but I know that they've said something great about it. But
this is not medical advice.
This is not medical advice, nor do I represent anyone from the AHA.
And then we're also moving to a place of like personalized nutrition and how much more important that is, because the diet that works for you is not going to be the one that works for me.
That's so true.
And so I think that working individually with some type of practitioner or provider is really where you're going to get the most legitimate information.
Yeah. Look at that.
So talk about some of the improvements, just overall health beyond just weight loss. You mentioned, like, you know, regulating blood sugar. Like what kinds of things can you expect with these kinds of drugs?
Right. So it's approved to manage sleep apnea, diabetes. Obviously, that's where it first was used. Heart disease. They're doing research on potentially addiction, like alcohol addiction, smoking cessation. Yeah. People feel that they just don't want to drink anymore.
Yeah.
Even people who drink regularly. And then the inflammatory piece to manage, you know, the autoimmune diseases and things like that. So there's just going to be a lot of information coming about the benefits of these medications. I will say for myself, I don't think I've been sick in like 3 years.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. I don't know. And I used to get bug bites all the time. Haven't had them. You know,
They're like, I don't think so.
There's no research on that.
That lizard.
Maybe it's the lizard.
The bugs get some of the blood and they're like, I'm not hungry anymore.
Oh,
I don't know. These are all just my personal observations.
Oh, the news.
myself.
I can see the news stories that come out of some algorithm. But bugs are no longer biting. They Ozempic bug.
Have you had that? Do you get bug bites? I used to get it
I don't.
horrible.
I don't.
Cover. Like my legs would be
My wife
covered.
does. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
But
It just stopped.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Maybe it's because of the blood sugar.
Maybe my blood sugar was high and they were
Maybe.
Yeah, bugs like to bite me
know.
because I'm
I
so
don't know.
sweet,
Yeah.
Well, they say bananas and stuff. That's why not?
I don't know.
I'm totally
Sweet and salty.
at this point.
Where are we at? Where are we at?
You were talking about prices coming down.
Mhm.
They're working on
Like dramatically.
various formats of this now. Like,
Yep.
I think a lot of people hesitate.
Wegovy
'cause they
just
don't-
came out with a pill.
Yeah, just last week.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
radical.
And I think that probably has stopped some people because a lot of people don't like the thought of
The needle.
the needle.
I didn't like the thought of the needle. I'm not from a medical background like you are. So for me, it freaked me out. But my wife was like, oh, you just need to do it. And I'll show you how. So I just had to do it, But once I learned how to do it, it was no problem.
I will say at the beginning, I was scared of the needle too.
I mean,
And I had my son do it for me in my leg.
Did you really?
Yeah. He loved pushing that button right into my
Oh,
leg.
yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Get some of that aggression out.
I don't think I would ever give my son the permission to stab me with a needle.
Only one of them.
He would
The
have
other
way
one, not
too
so
much fun with that.
You would have a lot of fun with that, especially one of them.
I think all of them, honestly. Do you think the pill format is going to be as effective, or are there going to be benefits to still doing the shot over the pill? Or
The oral Wegovy is about 15% weight loss as expected, which is not quite as effective as the shot, but still very clinically significant. If you lose 15% of your body weight, like that can really improve your health. The issue that I have with the oral Wegovy specifically is it has to be taken exactly 30 minutes before you eat anything with exactly 4 ounces of water. And so that interferes with people's other medications that they have to take first thing in the morning. And then I like to go to the gym in the morning. So I don't want to have to wait to have my coffee or whatever. I feel like for my life, it wouldn't work because of how strict you have to be with how it's taken.
Right.
But there's another one from Eli Lilly coming down the pipeline, should be here this year, that can be taken whenever. So I think that once that comes out, I think people are going to be popping it like candy, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And that's concerning.
Well, I mean, you mentioned other drugs. Are there issues with taking this with certain other types of drugs, or?
You want to be careful with other diabetes medications since it already lowers your blood sugar. You don't want to double up and crash out. I would talk to your doctor because there's a lot of drugs out there that I'm sure have contraindications. For the most part, since it's made from a peptide that's naturally occurring in your body, it doesn't have that many, interactions.
So again, not to get too terribly political, but there's a lot of talk.
His brain is turning.
I see it.
Yeah.
There is a lot of talk. We've kind of talked a little bit about, you've got, these big pharma companies that maybe are pushing the FDA to do certain things, allegedly. We're not making any claims here, but
No, we're not.
I've heard that there are food companies, which I think a lot of them are all kind of owned by the same people, but there are food companies now that are looking at ways on how to alter the food so that they sort of counteract the GLP-1 effect.
I haven't heard
so
this.
that it makes you hungry anyway.
What?
I mean, that would be interesting.
That would
but
be a
what I'm
scandal.
seeing, and I have somebody coming next week who was like big into the food industries, worked for like General Mills and a lot of different things. And what I'm seeing is they're freaking out about this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they are changing all of their products or trying to come out with new products to be GLP-1 friendly. And that's actually what this person who I spoke with is doing, is she's helping them set like what are the parameters for like a canned soup. What should a canned soup have to be GLP-1 friendly? What should a frozen meal have to be GLP-1 friendly?
Mm-hmm.
And so I see them like trying to target this population. How well they're doing at that, it could be discussed, you know, but I think that they would do better in helping people than trying to counteract, but who knows? Yeah.
That's that sinister mind you have there.
Yeah. Well, you know, I think sometimes profit plays a little more into things than it should, but
Probably.
I do think that, not to get political, but I saw one of the main people from the Maha movement speak at a conference I went to in December, Callie Means, and he was like, this administration is done with profits over people. Whether that's true or not, I can't tell you, but that is what he said from the stage. So I think that there is a push for that right now with the way that they're handling all of the health and nutrition stuff in this administration. But, you know, maybe they have another secret underlying motive that I don't know. I can only...
I know just from things that I would overhear my wife talk about, that like the compounding versions and all that would make people sick.
Mm-hmm.
Had other things in them. They packed them with other vitamins or some sort of supplements. And there were things in there that would cause people to get ill.
Yeah.
And so then her company had to put those side effects on their list of potential side effects, even though they didn't have those things.
Mm-hmm.
But it was because people were taking the compounded version of what they were selling. So
I'm less concerned about compounds as I am about illegal sources.
Oh.
Because on TikTok, you can buy things from other countries that are research use only.
Oh.
And it's really bad.
I hadn't heard about that.
Yes. And the FDA is cracking down on that, which I think is good.
We need
but
them.
A lot of these compound pharmacies are using 503A, 503B sources, which are FDA inspected. And so I would feel safer with somebody doing something like that rather than buying God knows what on TikTok.
Yeah. And then shooting it into your body.
I can't. I know that people are
don't
desperate.
do that.
Yeah. It's scary stuff.
Wow.
Not medical advice, but
please don't do that.
Don't do that.
That is medical advice. Don't do that.
That's just personal. That's personal.
Personal advice.
Personal advice, not medical. Don't do it.
We actually had the owner of 12 South Tap Room on 2-3 weeks ago, and he was talking about how alcohol sales have declined. And you brought up, well, I wonder if that has anything to do with these GLP-1s. Are you hearing any of that kind of stuff anecdotally? Like certain industries are like, oh crap, like we got to figure something out here.
I think even restaurants, you know, people don't want to spend money as much on like large portions. They're having to adjust.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think the alcohol thing, but I think also the alcohol piece is also that younger people are not drinking as much.
Yeah,
that's part of it too. So it's interesting. And there's been a lot of non-alcoholic bars that have popped up here in Nashville lately.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an interesting trend, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We had the lady from Killjoy.
Killjoy, that's right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She serves non-alcoholic
everything,
and wines and all that kind of stuff,
and supplies a lot of the restaurants and folks here in the region.
Yeah.
So how do you kind of balance the intersection of healthcare and content strategy and entrepreneurship and bridge all those worlds together?
Well, I
do tell.
Is that I have a strong motivation to never have a job.
Oh yeah.
So that really keeps me on track. You know, and I love creating content. I love interacting with the audience, and I like bringing them things that are valuable and that I like. And then with my husband coming on board now in the new year, it's really now about our family and like what I can grow for our family. And so this business has given us an opportunity to maybe to live abroad this summer. So we're going to spend a month in Japan.
Very cool.
And that is, what keeps me motivated every day. But also, the emails from the audience of how much I've helped them and what I've been able to do and kind of trying to cut through this noise. So every time I see something that I'm like, oh my God, how can this person be on the internet saying this? Motivates me more to keep talking and encourage other dietitians to talk, because a lot of them have been very quiet on this front. And I think that we're doing as a, profession, a disservice to the people who really need us.
How do you go about choosing, which experts and who you're collaborating with, who you're bringing on the podcast? Like, what are the characteristics you're looking for?
Well, I have topics that I want to cover, and so I'll put a call out for, do you know anybody that's a liver health doctor? Or, yesterday I had somebody who's an expert in sleep. So I have in my mind different topics,
right? And
then for the first season of the podcast, I have a million dietitian friends who are specialists in diabetes and weight loss. And that was relatively simple to get, guests, just because I have such a big network and most of them were my friends. But now I'm trying to take the reins a little bit more and cover topics that I want and that I think are important to the audience. So tomorrow comes out a pediatric obesity specialist to talk about GLP-1s for kids, which is something that I've been wanting to cover for a long time.
Where do you see the conversation around GLP-1 headed over the next few years? What kind of trends are you seeing? Where are things going with it?
Well, with the orals now here, I think more and more people are going to be on the medication and they're going to need kind of long-term solutions for how do you live with this? How do you change your life? How do you manage it in a more long-term way? How do you finally do all of those lifestyle changes we've been telling you to do, and maybe you couldn't implement them for a variety of reasons? So there's just going to be a growing audience as it becomes even more pervasive and more medications come out that serve different purposes.
There's a lot of controversy around like vaccines and that kind of thing. The lack of like what do you call it, like double blind clinical studies or whatever, where it's looked at against a placebo that's not a previous version of it. Are there long-term studies around this stuff yet, or is there anybody that's doing that kind of thing?
The medication's been on the market for 20 years.
Right. It's as long-term as you can imagine.
So yeah, like we have to admit, we don't know what's going to happen to somebody who started taking it as a child and is 80 years old.
Right.
Like we don't know exactly what's going to happen with that, but I've been doing bariatric surgery for, 30 years now. And we don't know, like there are people who had bariatric surgery when they were 14. What is that person's life going to be like when they're 80? Like we don't really know. So we can't know everything. I feel confident that with the amount of time the medication has been used, that I feel good about like the long-term side effects being relatively minimal. There are issues that come with rapid weight loss and that we need to think about in terms of long-term health and longevity. But overall, I feel pretty good. But, I agree. Like it has to be an analysis for yourself. Like, is it worth it to take this medication and get your life back?
For sure.
Or is it not worth the potential risk long-term that is unknown?
Yeah.
It's like anything.
Yeah. It seems like there's so many things that'll kill you these days.
And things that won't.
Yeah. I feel like I've been on a reverse intervention here. I've got two users in me.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You do.
Even my husband, when the oral came out, he started saying, maybe I should try it. He has never in 30 years wanted to like have anything to do with this. Maybe it's like him listening all day to my talking, GLP-1. Now he's like, oh, maybe I should. I don't know.
Well,
yeah, it's definitely hard. I've always struggled to be as healthy as I should be, which I'm not in terrible shape. I'm all right, But yeah, I mean, I think the willpower to eat exactly like you should and go to the gym like you should, it's so hard because there's so many things that are screwed up with the food industry in this country that it's just like you go down this rabbit hole. It's like, my God, I've got to like make everything at home. I can't buy anything at the store anymore. So it is hard.
But don't you think people get so down that rabbit hole that they just get everything stressful? I mean, at some point, eat things with the least amount of ingredients, be active, take a walk, shoot up if you need to shoot, take the shot, whatever.
That's what it comes down to. Like,
love your wife. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, come on.
If you can eat fruits, vegetables, and meat and nothing out of a box or a can and go to the gym 3 times a week.
But
that's
if
hard.
you need to occasionally pop open a can of something, then so be it.
Yeah.
It's hard.
It's moderation, right?
I do feel that the shot has reduced my stress significantly over what am I eating?
Yes.
What am I going to choose? What is the best option here? What am I, and as a person who's a dietitian who's written 3 cookbooks, still every day it was a decision. And I don't have to make that decision anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever they serve me, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
When y'all want to go to lunch somewhere, okay. Because I can just cut my plate in half and I'm good.
Yeah. And I just try to say, okay, where is my protein?
Yeah.
Do I have fruits and vegetables on this plate? End of story.
That's right.
But this is the South. So, like mac and cheese is considered a vegetable. It's not.
Well,
we can be flexible.
Well, on that note, Anna, it was a pleasure having you again. The second time.
Hopefully they heard us this time.
So for people that are interested in your research, interested in getting a hold of you, what's the best way to find you, reach out to you?
The GLP-1 Hub podcast, and my website is glp-1hub.com. I have a growing YouTube channel by the same name. I share a lot of information over there about how to live on GLP-1 medications.
Awesome.
Good.
Well, thank you again.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
And with that, we will see you next time. Well, that's a wrap on today's episode of Behind the Curtain, Nashville's movers, shakers,
and taste makers.
We hope you've been inspired by the stories of passion, perseverance, and innovation right here in Nashville.
A big thank you to our guests for sharing their journeys and to you, our listeners, for joining us. And of course, our gratitude to Accord Real Estate for making this conversation possible.
Don't forget to follow or subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform.
Thank us?
Yes, you did.
Oh, I guess I did. Well, thank us. Okay.
Like I was saying.
Oh, yeah.
Don't forget to follow or subscribe on your favorite platform to catch every episode and hit that notification bell. We've got plenty more fascinating guests lined up, ready to share their insights and inspirations.
And we love hearing from you. So reach out to us with your thoughts, questions, or suggestions for who you'd like to hear from next.
Until next time, keep chasing your dreams and making your mark in Nashville.
Oh, my goodness.
Remember,
I'm talking to Casey
it's
Kasem.
the people behind the scenes that make the city shine.